All right, so here we are on page 15, mini lesson number 2, and here we're going to talk about the algorithm for subtracting negative and positive numbers. So we're going to do exactly what it says here and add the opposite. All right, and what that means is we are going to keep the sign of the first number. We're not going to change it at all, but then we are going to change the subtraction sign to an addition sign. And then we're also going to change the sign of the second number to the opposite sign, meaning that if it is a positive number, we are going to change it to a negative. And if it is a negative number, we're going to change it to a positive. All right? And the reason we're doing this is because we already know how to add, right? We just talked about it in the last video. We practiced it a lot yesterday. So if we know how to add positive and negative integers, then why don't we just change the subtraction problem to an addition problem? So let's go ahead and practice this. In this first problem here, I have positive 10 and I'm going to keep it, not do anything with it at all. But then I have a subtraction sign. And what I'm going to do is change it to a addition sign. And then I'm going to change the sign of the number that follows it. So I'm going to change my positive 14 to a negative 14. So keep, change, and now my problem looks like this. 10 plus negative 14. And we know how to add a positive number plus a negative number. We have to find the difference between them. So 14 minus 10 equals 4. And then with that 4, we're going to look at which number is greater. In this case, 14 is greater than 10. And since 14 has a negative sign, then our final answer is going to be negative, right? We owe more money here. We owe $14 and we're only paying back 10. So my final answer is negative 4. Now let's go ahead and move on to problem 2. So again, we're going to keep our first number, and then we're going to change our subtraction sign to an addition sign. And so therefore we have to also change the sign of our number that follows it. So we're going to change the subtraction to addition. So subtracting a negative number is the same thing as adding a positive number. 15 plus positive 8 gives me 23. And then we'll do problems 3 and 4 real quick. Here we have negative 12. I'm going to keep that the same. Keep. And then I'm going to change my negative, or my subtraction sign, excuse me, to an addition sign. There's the change. And then I'm going to change my positive 5 to a negative 5. Keep, change. Negative 12 plus negative 5, right? When we add two negative numbers, then our number is just going to get more negative. So we have negative 17. And then finally, we have 14 minus 17. Keep that first number, change that subtraction sign to an addition sign, and then change the sign of my 17 to negative 17. 14 plus negative 17. I'm going to find the difference between the two, which is 3. Since I have more negatives than positives, right? 17 is greater than 14, and it's negative. Therefore, my answer is also going to be negative. All right, hopefully this is making sense. We're keeping, we're changing. All right, so you're going to add the opposite. Add the opposite. That's the key. So if I'm subtracting a negative, I'm going to be adding a positive. If I'm subtracting a positive, I'm going to be adding a negative. Adding the opposite. All right, so go ahead and try out the workshop problems by yourself. Here we have part A, just like the examples that I was doing before. And then we have part B, which is where the real world problems come into play. I love these problems so much because these are actual situations that you will run into in your lifetime.